Good evening, Denise Moore. I'm not sure if the pool that's over by Carver Center is part of Carver Center, but if it is not, it needs to be repaired and upgraded so that our children have some place to go and swim. I think the information indicated that public and private organizations could utilize those funds. And, well, it's not too expensive when other neighborhoods do it. I don't think it's too expensive for our neighborhood, too. Well, we can manage that. The other thing is that we talked about light industry in our community. If Magic Johnson figured out a way in L.A. to get it done, I don't think we need to go to China to figure out how we need to do something in the South TiF district. I think we can go, say, right here in our contiguous United States and figure out how to get that done. Lastly, there's a lot of emotion and passion here. Please, let's try to capture this and keep this going so that it's not just for tonight and that last city council meeting and maybe the next city council meeting, and then after that, people disappear. Thank you.
Well, Andy Warhol said everybody needs 15 minutes. I'm only going to ask for 2. And my name is Trainer, Charles Trainer. I moved here in 1969, and a lot of things have changed. I'm 73 now. I am connected with the mineral spring, and we need help. And that's why I'm here. So if you have any questions, it's PeoriaMineralSprings.org. And we have a website set up. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Lorraine B. Carter. I am host of Neighborhood Views television show. I volunteered to start this show so people in the community could come forward with their ideas and their desires to give everybody a better quality of life in the city of Peoria. Not just the south side, we want the east side, north side, west side. We want to make this city what it once was. And that was the best small city in the United States. And that was in the 50s. Now we can bring it back. We didn't have slums years ago. People was proud of where they lived. And they took care of their yards. And they contained their garbage properly. So what I'm asking is, all of these people here, I want you to come to the next mayor's litter committee cleanup. If we could get cooperation from the churches to help the neighborhood associations. When have you been to a neighborhood association meeting? I hear all of you talking about the south side. I don't ever see you at a neighborhood association meeting. We have to beg people to come to the neighborhood association meeting. I'm president of the Martin Warren Southside Neighborhood Association. We meet at Proctor Center the 3rd Thursday of the month. Come by. Talk to us like you're talking now. There's Lavetta Ricker of the Old Town South. There's the lady from Peoria Up. She just started that association. There's Spring Grove. And we're all crying, not crying literally, but we're saying people won't come. We see your beautiful faces out here. We see intelligent people. We see people who are somebody. Come to our association meetings so we can grow stronger, have a voice, and have some clout. It takes nothing to come to a litter committee cleanup. We were cleaning up on Western. I saw one black woman come up there to help clean up. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying, I know you have children to raise. I know you're busy with the older people in your families. But please take a little time out and come to our neighborhood association meetings. That's where you grow strong. You will not grow strong by yourself. Forget about your personal needs and join. United we stand, divided we fall. Thank you.
And what I want to say in conclusion, is that maybe someone didn't want to come to the mic. You still can write your comments. Email to myself or Councilman Turner, and we will include those on the list. I had a few other things that weren't on the list. We talked about the mineral springs, and you got something else?
Yeah, like about the facilities and the meetings where you're having them at.
Where we having?
Where the meetings are being held at.
Yes.
They definitely need to be held in a public facility.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even though they're being, like down here, you're in the neighborhood house area where the people and the residents live, but when you start, it looks like you're siding with somebody in order to get a. It's not just whether that's the appearance of it, it's the facilities are not big enough.
Right.
And there's been meetings that you guys have been to, there have been like 7 or 8 people at where you've had plenty of room. But as the city, and especially the South End, starts mobilizing, you need facilities.
I can see.
Because when they walk out of this building at night and it's dark outside and they've got to walk 2 blocks to get to their car, the city has facilities that can hold these meetings.
Yes.
Where people have lit access for nighttime meetings. But it's a security issue also for those folks to get to their cars. Plus the weather and everything that goes along with it. Plus the microphone system. These people should be able to discuss, they're not microphone professionals, they need to come in to where they can come to a facility, it's easy to get to.
That's right.
There's plenty of room, and they feel comfortable when they're there. And if you have only 7 or 8 people, I've been to 3 of these now, and the crowds are getting bigger. And so it's just something for the future to keep in mind that everybody wants to have a meeting with the city council, but if you're going to have a public meeting, and it's a public notice, it needs to be someplace that's publicly big enough to facilitate what you're trying to do.
We can handle that.
Keep people away.
Right. Well, I don't know if you were talking about this meeting or the meeting Saturday? Or in general? All right, so that's the general. That's the general.
There might be other citizens who might not be part of the South Side who might be compassionate.
We appreciate those comments. Dr. Rose, as we conclude.
I just want to say that even though we have both of our councilmen here representing us, I don't think we should put it solely on their shoulders to make sure that that money is not touched.
Right.
If you're able, I think we ought to show up Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning so that we can be seen and heard again and support Councilman Gully and Councilman Turner so that the whole weight of it isn't on their shoulders by themselves.
All right. Again, I had a lot of other projects I wanted to talk about, and if you allow me, I'm just going to put them in the minutes because it's quite lengthy. Things that you didn't bring up. For example, 7th Street completion. I want to put that on the list. That wasn't. Well, he called it Martin Luther King. That's 2 different projects. Martin Luther King connection from Garrett out is a project. But then Martin Luther King, where 7th Street coming around, is a different project. That's where we started. So it's 2 different projects. Want to make sure both of those on there. We didn't talk about the parking that should be, well, someone said it, next to Carver. We were talking about it. You talked about it next to the church. But I remember Percy was helping me educate the kids when I was working for Audubon when we built the park. So I have the plans. When we built the park, there was supposed to be a parking lot next to Carver Center in between the pool and Carver. I don't know how many people know that. But when you drive home, go by there, you'll see the driveway is there, the chain is there, and there's no parking lot. So that's something I know about that was supposed to be installed and it never was because we didn't have any money. So I want to put that on the list. They're saying that we don't own it. The Park District owns it, but we can fix that. We can buy land. I heard them say we can buy land and build a private public parking lot. So I want to put that on the list. That's something that we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about something that I had brought up about the heritage of our Southtown. In the Southtown area, I think we have an asset that we have never built upon. The fact that we have Calvin Hightower, a street called John Gwynn, a street called Richard Pryor Place, a street called Adrian Hinton. Y'all help me out. What else? Garrett Street, Martin Luther King. I think that's our heritage. And I think we should change the name from Southtown to Heritage Park. And focus the fact around all of the different streets and write us a grant, maybe not use TIF money, but write us a grant to do some wayfindings and make it a trail. Lynette, did you leave? Where they can come ride your bikes and you can take people to the Heritage Trail from the museum so they can talk about what Southtown was and what it is now. The MacArthur Greenway was something that I had talked about a long time that wasn't finished. It's adjacent to the Southtown TiF. And they was talking about you can porthole money, and that's just a little piece of project that needs to be finished. But it was started years ago when we redid MacArthur. So that's the MacArthur Greenway completion. You know, and that's it. I got other things and other ideas. We'll put this list together. It's going to be on the website. We plan to present the list to the City Council. It just be a report back that'll go to the City Council on February 14th. So that's the night that we'll have this together, and of course it'll be available for your comments. After that, Reverend Thomas, then we'll have to build strategy on how to pull, after we prioritize the list, pull things off the list, and then come up with an implementation strategy. So that would be the next steps as I can see them. I really appreciate everyone being here. I know you have something to say. Is just to me, or closing remark? Yes, yes.
I just kind of got a little confused.
Okay.
Deborah Fajay. But when you said number 32, move money from the Southtown to the warehouse district to build a neighborhood.
On Jefferson.
On Jefferson. I got a little confused because I don't know if that's the consensus of us sitting here. Okay, so I just kind of got a little confused. I don't want this to end up as number one when we go to the meeting on February the 14th.
Right. And on 14th, they won't be prioritized on that time. It'll just be a report back. Then you can get with me and we'll get together and we'll go to the next step. I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much for coming.